I found my husband's business trip receipts in his jacket, along with 2 plane tickets and a name I vaguely remembered, Meredith. I stood in our laundry room, holding the crumpled Delta boarding passes, Phoenix to Portland, 2 seats, departure last Thursday. The same Thursday, Garrett told me he was flying to Denver for a client meeting. The name rattled around in my head, Meredith. Then it clicked. His college girlfriend, the one he'd shown me photos of years ago when we were still dating, laughing about how young and stupid they'd been. She'd moved to Portland after graduation. He'd mentioned it once, casually, like it meant nothing. I checked the dates on the hotel receipt. 3 nights at the Sentinel, a boutique hotel downtown. Room service charges for 2. A bottle of champagne on the first night. Breakfast for 2 every morning. A couple's massage on Saturday. My hands weren't shaking. That's what surprised me most. I felt oddly calm, like I was watching someone else's life fall apart instead of my own. I took photos of everything with my phone. Then I put it all back exactly where I'd found it, folded the jacket perfectly, and walked upstairs to start dinner. That night, Garrett came home with takeout and kissed my forehead. "How was Denver?" I asked, unpacking the Thai food. "Exhausting," he said, loosening his tie. "Back-to-back meetings, barely left the hotel." I nodded, taking a bite of pad thai. I watched him scroll through his phone while eating, occasionally smiling at something on the screen. For 2 weeks, I acted completely normal. I made dinners. I asked about his day. I laughed at his jokes. The whole time I was opening new bank accounts, scanning documents, photographing every asset we owned, and contacting the lawyer my friend had recommended after her divorce. I found their text thread by checking the phone bill online. Hundreds of messages. I couldn't read them without his password, but the timestamps told me enough. Messages at 2 a.m. Messages during our anniversary dinner last month. Messages the morning after we'd tried for a baby. I started noticing everything. How he'd bought new underwear. How he'd suddenly started caring about his haircut. The way he'd hum in the shower. Something he only did when he was genuinely happy. The breaking point came when I checked his calendar. Another Denver trip scheduled for next month. I cross-referenced it with Meredith's Instagram. She'd posted about taking time off work those exact dates. I made an appointment with the lawyer for that Friday. Garrett was supposed to be at the office. Thursday night, his phone buzzed during dinner. He glanced at it and smiled, the same smile he used to give me. "Work emergency," he said, standing. "I need to take this." He walked into his office and closed the door. I pressed my ear against it and heard him laughing. "I can't wait either," he said softly. 2 more weeks. When he came back, I was clearing the dishes. "Everything okay?" I asked. "Just a difficult client," he said. "Nothing I can't handle." That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about all the small moments I'd ignored. The way he'd started showering the moment he got home from trips. How his phone was suddenly always face down. The new cologne. How he'd stopped reaching for me in bed. At 3 a.m., I got up and opened his laptop while he slept. His email was still logged in. I started with the sent folder, scrolling back months. Flight confirmations, hotel reservations, restaurant bookings in cities he'd supposedly never visited. Then I found the folder labeled Personal. Inside were dozens of emails. Not just to Meredith, 3 other names, 3 other women, different cities, different months. A pattern stretching back 2 years. But that wasn't the worst part. There were emails to his brother discussing how to hide money, transfers to offshore accounts I'd never heard of, discussions about selling our house without my knowledge. One email made my blood run cold. It was to his lawyer, dated 3 weeks ago. The subject line read, "Divorce strategy, minimizing her share." I sat there in the dark, realizing my husband hadn't just been cheating. He'd been systematically dismantling our life while I smiled and made him dinner. I couldn't fit what happens next in this short video. Watch the rest down below.